كلام وانا امسكه ولا احطه في جيبي ولا كيف؟ ولا اخذه معي؟ The other one speak. Okay, great.
الخير والله بالشركة طيبة. كيف الأمور؟
It's fine. No, it's fine.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أسعد الله صباحكم بكل خير ضيوفنا الكرام، السادة الحضور، السيدات والأخوات بالقاع المجاورة. في مستهل يومنا الطيب هذا يطيب لي الترحيب بكم أصالة عن نفسي ونيابة عن زملائنا بفريق العمل من جامعة الدمام كلية العمارة والتخطيط وغرفة الشرقية، المنظمون لفعالية ندوة التنمية العمرانية الأولى بعنوان التطوير العقاري والإسكان المستدام، وذلك برعاية كريمة من صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير الدكتور منصور بن متعب بن عبد العزيز وزير الشؤون البلدية والقروية، ومبادرة مباركة من جامعة الدمام وغرفة الشرقية والقطاع الخاص بتنظيم هذه الفعالية ودعمها لما يخدم المجتمع ولكل مهتم بقضايا التنمية والتطوير العقاري. ضيوفنا الكرام، ألفت عنايتكم لفعاليتنا لهذا اليوم والمتضمنة 3 جلسات رئيسية يتخللها بعض الوقفات. الوقفة الأولى صباحية وتبدأ من الساعة 10 إلى 10:30. الوقفة الثانية لأداء صلاة الظهر والراحة من الساعة 12 إلى الساعة 1 ظهرا. المسجد يوجد بالطابق الثالث. وأود التنويه بأن الافتتاح الرسمي لهذه الندوة سيكون في تمام الساعة 1 ظهرا برعاية صاحب السمو الملكي الأمير منصور بن متعب بن عبد العزيز وزير الشؤون البلدية والقروية. الوقفة الأخيرة لهذا اليوم ستكون مع تناول وجبة الغداء تقديرا منا لضيوفنا الكرام، وذلك في تمام الساعة 3:30 عصرا. ضيوفنا الكرام، أود أن أسترعي انتباهكم لبعض التوجيهات الهامة. يوجد في القاعة مخرجين طوارئ في الأطراف على جانبي المنصة الرئيسية، وذلك ضمانا لسلامتكم. جميع المقاعد مزودة بميكروفون مستقل لكل مقعد بمسند الذراع الأيمن لمن يود بالتوجه بالأسئلة. القاعة مزودة بأجهزة ترجمة فورية بتصرفكم ضيوفنا الكرام، موجودة خارج القاعة لمن يود الاستعانة بها. رجاء أخير إخواني وأخواتي بوضع الجوالات على الوضع الصامت. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and most graceful. Good morning, honored guests, gentlemen, ladies, and sisters in the neighboring hall. In the beginning of this nice day, I welcome you on my behalf and on behalf of our team from the University of Dammam and Sharqiyya Chamber, the organizers of the Fields Built Environment Development Symposium entitled Real Estate and Sustainable Housing, under the patronage of His Royal Highnesses Prince Dr. Mansour bin Mut'ab bin Abdul Aziz, the Minister of Municipal and Royal Affairs, and with a blessed initiative with the University of Dammam, Sharqiyya Chamber, and support of the private sector, to organize this event to serve society and all interested in the issues of real estate development. Our honored guest, I draw your attention before starting this important event to some directions. The hall has 2 emergency exits to ensure your safety. All seats are equipped with independent audio plugs and microphones for everyone who would like to ask questions for our speakers. The room are equipped with instant translation for who would like to ask a question or translation. And now I leave you with the first of our activities for today, and I wish you to enjoy with us. ضيوفنا الكرام، نبدأ أولى جلساتنا لهذا اليوم بعنوان الاستدامة في العمارة والتنمية. يرأس الجلسة سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور عبد العزيز بن جمال الساعاتي، وكيل جامعة الدمام للدراسات العليا والبحث العلمي، مستضيفنا البروفيسور جيمس ستيل من جامعة جنوب كاليفورنيا الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، مقدرين له تواصله الدائم معنا وتعاونه محل اهتمامنا، فأهلا وسهلا به.
شكرا. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. تدي السيشن الأول للكينوت سبيكر Professor Jim Steele. Professor Jim Steele may be well known by the most of us here. He has a bachelor degree in English from Lafayette College, and a Bachelor of Arts and Master of Arts from University of Pennsylvania. Then he obtained his PhD in Policy Planning and Development from University of Southern Cal. He worked in the practice with the famous office Louis Kahn and Vincent Kern office in Philadelphia, then Rose Company in Columbia, Maryland, and then he went to private practice in Bucks County in Pennsylvania. As an academic level, he taught in many universities. He started with the University of Pennsylvania, and then King Faisal University, then University of Dammam now, then Texas Tech University, then the American Institute of Foreign Study in London, and then the Prince of Wales Summer School and the Majdeen College in Oxford. He is the author of many, many books, to count, that's 59 books and monographs. Just to name some of them, the Hassan Fathi collections, Los Angeles, The Contemporary Condition, where he won the Kappa Phi Awards for that publication. Then the Queen Mary, where he won the American Institute of Architecture Publication Award. And I go on with many books, but specifically naming some related to our session. That's Ecological Architecture, A Critical History, and the Sustainable Architecture Principle, Paradigm, and Case Study. He has been a guest critic and speaker at several universities in the United States as well international university. We are so pleased, and for me, to say in behalf of you, lucky to have a real scholar in the capacity of Professor Jim Steele. So I'll let Jim Steele to give his lecture. Please welcome.
Thank you, Doctor. So just click, where do I click? Just click on this. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. I am very grateful to be invited by the Dammam University and by the Chamber of Commerce. And thank you, Dr. El-Sati, for that introduction. First, I'd like to talk about theoretically what a sustainable city is. This conference is about sustainable cities. We really need to be able to figure that out, what it is. What's going on? Okay. This is a different system than I'm used to. Sustainability means meeting the needs of today without sacrificing the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This definition took a long time to develop. It actually comes from a series of United Nations conferences. The conferences started in the 1970s. And the last was in the 1990s, 1993, with the Rio Conference, which finally established this definition. Sustainability is not an architectural movement. It's not a planning movement. It's actually the first institutionally driven theory in architecture to come from an international body like the United Nations. So it's important to understand the history. It was actually driven by the oil shortages in the 1970s, 1973, 1976. And as a result of that, the environmental movement started to gain momentum, and sustainability as an idea really stems from that beginning as an institutional direction from the United Nations. There was a a conference by the Brundtland Commission, led by the Norwegian Prime Minister, Gro Harlem Brundtland. And then after that, there was the Rio Conference, which settled the definition. Sorry, this seems to have a mind of its own up here. Okay. We are living in a more interconnected world today. We have more and more in common, and the issue of globalization is a very sensitive issue in terms of how do we retain identity, cultural identity, historical heritage within this pressure of interconnectedness. The other issue of interconnectedness is energy usage, because the energy usage in one part of the world affects the energy usages in another. And so nobody is self-sufficient anymore. What happens here happens in the rest of the world. It has an effect on that. This is the important issue that I want to talk about. So what is a sustainable city? It's a macrocosm of the microcosm of sustainable architecture. It involves several issues. First of all, population growth in the world. There is an issue today of global commons, of global equity that we must be aware of. The second issue, which is probably the most important for sustainability as in architecture, which relates to cities, is the idea of renewable and non-renewable resources. The non-renewable resources are just what the name implies. They can no longer be replaced. So once they're used up, they're used up. And this is one of the issues I'd like to talk about. Third issue is pollution, and we're all aware of global warming and the issue the importance of that today. Fourthly, I'd like to talk about high-tech versus appropriate technology. This is becoming a real division in sustainability. The idea that you can solve problems with high technology versus the idea that you really don't have to use high technology. And fifthly, the idea of the utilization of traditional wisdom, which I'd like to address in my talk. The global commons is really an issue of resources. And sorry. I think I'm going in the wrong direction. I think I'm going to be missing some images, but one of the first of these is water. A friend of mine, who's now the director of the Bibliotheca Alexandria in Egypt, Ismail Saragaldin, told me when he was working at the International Monetary Fund, James, if you want to be rich in the future, don't stockpile gold, don't stockpile oil, stockpile water. He said, save water in your garage.